rolling.
Technorama podcast.
All right. Let's see. Refresh the Facebook page. Give it a second or two. Videos. There are no videos. More videos. There we are. Mute the laptop. Mute the laptop again. And here we go. Let's see.
Share on a page you manage. My timeline.
Share you. And share. Oh, good thing I didn't send that. I had a typo in it. Okay, there we go. I almost spelled people wrong. It is shared. We have Michelle Cook Lopez, John Miller Jr., and Michael King joining us right out of the gate.
Nice. I love it. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, look. I switched to myself, and immediately everybody goes away off the thing.
Really?
Yo, yo.
Technorama is okay.
Bad Albert, you like class? You like school in summertime? You got no class.
I must have you in that little oil drum, the oil can over there.
Hey, that quote sticks in my head after all these years. I haven't seen Fat Albert in,
They had a few of them that had no class.
Yeah.
That was a memorable boy.
Okay, I'm going to give John Miller Jr. Some points here. So I posted a side-by-side picture with me and my dad.
Yes.
At the race.
Yes.
And the race from 7 years ago. And he said, I said, one of us changed, the other one didn't. Dad looks about the same. And John Miller Jr. said, where's it at? He said, oh no, I'm sorry, Derek Coward. He said, one gained glasses while the other lost them. Dad was wearing glasses in the...
That's like Donna's in my wedding picture. She had glasses. I didn't. I had a mustache.
I hope she didn't have the mustache.
I didn't say she got a mustache. All right. Donna, I'm going to bring the temperature down a little bit, so we stay cool in here while the show is going on. Okay. I think we're ready to go. We have several viewers ready to go.
Let me mute the phone.
We are doing a live show at DragonCon next Sunday at 2:30 Eastern Time.
Yes, and you can tell we're getting close to DragonCon because my Facebook Messenger is blowing up.
Yes, especially the group called the Ass End of the Parade.
Well, I'm not helping in our own small little group.
There are many times these days when I'm trying to get something done and I have to mute like all alerts because it's just going bing, 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 bing.
Oh, stupid Sounds Craig like posting something game. Again.
Or my family is watching some event or commenting about my sister's home refurbishing project or something. It's all fascinating, but there are times when people get in a conversation. It's almost like if you were working in an office environment and 16 people just congregated in the cube next to you.
Oh yeah.
And started talking
out loud.
There's times when I just feel like standing up saying, would you shut up?
Well, actually at work, it was super quiet on Friday and I had pretty much done all I was going to do. So I started messing around with Twitter. I hadn't messed with Twitter in a long time. I was like, I started messing with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Familiar with it again because I know some things have changed since I really messed with it. And then I saw a few funny things. I started posting it to the chat that you and Clinton and I have. And I was like, I can see Chuck now going, ugh.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you were having a conversation this morning about Star Trek. What are we wearing for our panel? And I'm in church doing audio.
Oh no, I asked that yesterday because I know Clinton has
No, you had quite the
gold shirt.
conversation today while
Well,
I
you
was
had
there.
the red shirt. Well, I know because he followed up with it.
Yeah.
But I was about to pull the trigger on a blue shirt, and I thought we would. I wasn't saying TOS, but we could all wear, a blue and a red and a gold shirt. Well, not together, but each
Guess
of
who's
us
the
have our
red
own color.
shirt?
Yeah, I know. So I did, and I still can. I still can order it. I'll get it on Thursday. But I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool if we had who wore
I
Starfleet
have
shirts.
I have 2 Topicus Trek shirts and a Star Trek Cruise T-shirt and a Live Long and Prosper. I've got about 5 or 6 Star Trek T-shirts I could wear. Do we have to
Yeah.
match?
Actually, you know what? I got my disco shirt. I can wear that.
Right. I'm going to promote the heck out of our own show
Oh,
everywhere we can.
Kim was wearing her disco shirt the other day, and a guy said, "Oh man, I love that show." And she was like, "What?" Oh, took her sad.
Thought you were talking about our podcast. Gee, what a surprise! Nobody says that about our podcast. I love that.
I said, Kim, I'm glad he didn't come up and say, "Didn't you think it was a little strange that they had the antimatter matter intermix a little different on episode 3 of?"
Scott Tyler says, "Hey guys, hey Scott."
Hey, Scott. Like,
You're supposed to be finishing writing your adventure for Thursday's adventure game.
Yeah. Actually, I dared Susie Murph to join us
for the adventure game.
Yeah, she said she was going to play some D&D while she was there. I was like, "Oh, I dare you to play with us."
I dare you.
Yeah, I dare.
What kind of challenge is that?
Well, no. I figured get her attention, right?
All right, shall we begin? Give me another audio level check. I was doing everything but my job.
Level.
Okay, bring it up.
Level.
Okay, you sound magnificent. You planning on singing karaoke when we do that at Dragon Con?
For years I swore off karaoke because I actually had to host it when I was DJing, and I really got tired of it. But you know what? Yes, I'm going to do something. Okay. I don't know how I'm going to sing, but I will do it.
And thanks for the tip on...
I'm coming out of my karaoke retirement.
Okay. The 2 suggestions you had, I implemented this weekend. One was fairly simple. One was a royal pain in the keister because it changed the data model, which had ripple effects all throughout the application. But I got it.
Whoa, what was it?
You wanted like a header? Yeah, title. And then I also put in like a drop down. You press the question mark icon and it gives a little more text about it. So instead of just saying search, it says, enter a search term for songs on titles and artists.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, right.
That's the title on every page. And then the other one is pagination. What a pain that was.
I know. Well, wait a minute. There is built-in pagination in ServiceNow. I guess, can you not reuse
on Service
that somehow?
Portal.
Okay.
No. And I was looking at a third-party library, but that didn't work as seamless as it expected. I may still go to that one at some point, but for now...
There is a built-in function for that, I'm just saying, right?
No, not really.
I mean, I haven't used it. I just thought I saw it somewhere.
There's an undocumented glide record method that says give me records 50 through 59.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it before by hand in PHP, HTML, SQL. And yeah, it's a lot of
it's a pain because
stuff in through the URL. And
when you want an indicator that says this is 50 through 59 of 174, you got to have all 3 of those numbers and you got to calculate them on the fly. And what happens when you get to number 170? You can't just say, "Oh, I was getting 10 records at a time or 15 records at a time. The last one should be 174." And figuring out where that is and then disabling the right and left arrows at the right time is really fun.
That gets
it is tricky, a constant battle of off by 1. Or you just get that nan.
You're right.
This is record 10. This is records 10 through 10 to nan of 174. I got that a couple times today.
Yeah. One time I think I tried to do it with cookies. I was trying to set where the person was in the in the pages, and I'm gonna tell you that was a nightmare because it would refresh and the cookie wasn't set. There's always that weird, when do you set the cookie and when does the browser read it back kind of thing, and it just didn't work right. I bet I spent hours before I finally gave it up when I realized, oh, well, you can set the cookie, but it's not set.
Well, there's session cookies and persistent cookies. Those are the general two types that you have.
Right. No. I mean,
so if I pass your browser a cookie and I just say your user ID is step K, if you close the browser or log out, you're done. That's gone. But there's a persistent cookie that will stay with you so that I can always come back and get it.
Yeah, I think what I was doing is in PHP, if you literally run set cookie, then your page loads. Well, you won't be able to read that value until you do a refresh and the cookie is read in the system. So you have to set the cookie and then set a variable to that same variable or to that same value. So that way you can use it on the current page. If you just set it, it's not available until you hit a refresh.
Usually I set a variable first and then say, hey, cookie, go past this.
I know. Just saying. This is a long time ago. And I remember going, oh, this will be easy. And start trying to hammer it out. And next thing I know, it's dark outside. And,
yes,
and I'm hungry.
time. It's like programming around a black hole. It goes really fast and everybody ages twice as fast as you.
Yeah, especially me. Well, no, I do because I'm trying to figure this out and it's stressing me out. It's like, what the hell? You're supposed to work.
That's why I purposely said I'm going to set up the show first, then I'll come back and bash my head against this application for a while. And I got both done. If I'd done it the other way around, time would have evaporated and I wouldn't have had the show set up for tonight. But since the show is set up, let's go ahead and do that thing.
Okay. And I can make your pagination really easy. I'll show you later.
in Angular? Yeah, something fishy about that statement. Alrighty, here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Technorama episode 575, Between Two Pillows. Those aren't pillows.
Those aren't pillows.
Welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time joining us, thank you and welcome to the show. We pretty much told you what it's all about. So spoiler alert, you're going to find out. It's everything that ends up on the cutting room floor and usually doesn't get covered by any other podcast but this one. So we pick it up, we look at it, we try to make it fun. My name is Chuck Tomasi from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and joining me all the way across the country is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing well. Well, not quite all the way on the other side of the country. You're about...
I'm a few miles inland on the West Coast. You're a few miles inland on the East Coast. Same kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of.
What would that be, about 75% of the way across the country?
Yeah, we're more like 3,000 miles from each other rather than the...
Hey, I figured if I started driving to Dragon Con now, I'd get there about the same time as you did. We record this on Sunday night.
Yeah. Oh, well, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I would stop and sleep. I'm not going to drive straight through. It's about 26 hours from here to the
my dad's
Atlanta hotel.
When we lived in Texas, that's Texas, but Dad drove over through the night to come back to South Carolina to visit family and stuff.
I remember a joke from Texas.
I slept in the back seat, untethered, laying there in a back seat.
Oh, did you lay across that back window shelf?
I think it might have been, I don't remember it being big enough to do that, but I remember considering it. But I remember trying to sleep in the floorboard with the hump.
Yes. Now we call that a sofa bed. All right. We have lots of feedback. Let's do the feedback thing for the show. I need one of those little mouth harps.
It'd be like Snoopy.
Oh boy!
Every week we'll play this on a different instrument. Here's one on the timpani. Boom, boom.
I before E except after C.
Okay, Snoopy. We have a voicemail from our good friend Clinton.
Our good fiend.
Hey guys, this is Clinton calling in from Comedy Forecast. You might remember me from such shows as Comedy Forecast.
Nope.
And
Nope.
the topic is Trek.
Never heard of it.
No clue.
Listen, I just wanted to give you some timely feedback. I wanted to point out that the claims against astronaut Anne McClain that she committed a crime while on board the International Space Station.
Wait for it.
Well, those claims carry no weight whatsoever. Was on a space station in gravity and. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Same humor we have on every podcast. Just the same thing. We slap a different label on it like Miko does with their toys.
Yeah.
Paint them
You're the
brown.
fools in this scenario. Keep subscribing to our podcast. Wait a minute. I shouldn't be deride our listeners.
Paint that doll brown and put some Klingon clothes. But that's a Barbie, sir. It's a Klingon Barbie now.
Yeah.
All right. We also asked, speaking of toys, last week we said, actually, this is the question of the week from 2 weeks ago, but we got so many more good answers on here that we thought we'd cover a few more. What was your favorite toy as a child that you just couldn't live without? And we got Jack saying action figures mainly. Did you have something you wanted to pick out?
It's worth noting we got a lot of responses.
A ton of responses.
Yeah.
I like Weber Baker's pack and play record player.
Yes.
With the plastic turntable and the plastic needle and the plastic records.
I had one like that. It didn't, if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't play like regular records. No, I had one that played these plastic Fisher Price records and also.
Oh, you're talking about the one that was more like a music box where the needle was as wide as the whole record track, and it had like it had studs in the record to tweak it.
Yeah,
it was a glorified
I did have something
music
like
box.
this because I remember playing Pete Puff the Magic Dragon, and I had some other 45s
that was Puff's brother. He went off and worked as an accountant.
Oh, and you know what else I used to play on that thing was the 45 out of the Star Trek thing I posted on our little chat group.
Yes,
you know, it was on YouTube
with the storybook.
The 45 is a storybook thing with Star Trek. And it's funny because the voices are not quite the same as the Star Trek characters you're familiar with. Yet, you know, they were all. Anyway, it's fun to go listen to. You can go find them on YouTube.
I like Jonathan Strickland's picture. It's just Skeletor giving a fist pump. Like, yes,
yes.
Let's see. We got Play-Doh and crayons. Tearful from my sister. I forgot about that doll. Paint by numbers and pickup sticks. That was always fun. Here, pick them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had some responses as well. What did you have?
Let's see. I want to kind of burn through I had to respond to Mark Kilfoyle because he posted that picture. He actually posted a link to Wikipedia for the Merlin.
Yeah.
The game console. And I literally had mine within like arm's reach. So I like within 1 minute of him posting it, I said, "Do you mean like this one with his Facebook post behind it?"
Have you played that game since you bought it?
No, I tried to. For some reason, when I bought it, you put the batteries in, it does not turn on. I got it to turn on once, so I got to work with it a little bit more. But no, yeah, it sucks. It doesn't actually work. And I've had it for years, but I like it's a nice conversation piece. But I think somebody left batteries in there and they got corroded, so I need to work on it some more.
Okay. Our question from the last show, episode 574.
Hold on.
What?
So I'm gonna burn through a few of these right now. So Jay Langelis, how do you say his name?
Langgens. Take it apart in 2 words.
Langgens. No, Langgens. He had the cassette recorder transformer. Then Tim Fletcher had Simon. Don Tennyson had the handheld Space Invaders. And Gretchen Blankman said, "Love Dungeons and Dragons." She posted a picture of a Dungeons and Dragon board. You know, it had pieces and you move them around. I guess had a map or something.
That's a good one. If you couldn't live without your D&D.
Yeah. Teddy Ruxpin got Stretch Armstrong.
Creepy Teddy Ruxpin.
My dad still has these little ducks. You can see a picture of them, and they're sitting on a shelf in his office. But it's little ducks that put on the street. I bet those things are 70 years old.
Wow.
Atari 26. Rob Simpson said Atari. So yeah, there's some good responses in there.
All right, can I go to this week's question or last week's question?
Sure.
Or do you want to keep dwelling in the past?
I do.
In the Stone Age.
That's part of our shtick.
What's a statistic that blew your mind? We have Mike Wills that says 1 out of 1 people will comment on this. Fred Van West says the USA is the 3rd largest country by population in the world. Dave Perry says Atlanta is closer to Detroit than it is to Miami. I like Jack Mangans. The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Hey, don't tell me the odds.
That's what Wayne responded with.
Oh, okay.
Melissa A. Bartell said, this isn't a hard statistic, but it was assigned to me to write a play around something that offends me in 2018. A meme inspired me to write about domestic violence. I learned that repeat abusers can actually pinpoint how long into a new relationship they wait before they start abusing. It's 18 months. The fact that this group of men could analyze and agree on that freaked me out. It still freaks me out. That is true.
That's kind of weird.
Jay Langdon's posts a video to Todd Snyder singing Statistician's Blues, to which he replies, this whole song is the thing that blew him away. Liz Hill says 87% of statistics are made up. I believe that. I like the one when you're in a crowd and it says 1 out of every 3 people is an idiot. So look to your left and look to your right. And if they look okay, guess what?
Yeah, surprise.
Gary Lindros says, pick any figure from the FDA Food Defect Levels Handbook. Ground up paprika up to 20% mold allowed. Oh, yum. Chocolate up to 60 insect fragments per 100 grams. Hops, no more than 2,500 aphids per 10 grams. No more than. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You have 2,502 aphids.
No, I mean the next one. I'm sorry, the mushrooms.
Mushrooms, no more than 20 maggots per 100 grams. And the list goes on. I don't know if Donna's going to eat. Well, she'll keep eating mushrooms.
I will.
Protein.
You don't eat them?
Doug K has responded.
Whoa. You don't eat mushrooms?
I started eating them, primarily on pizza.
Okay, yeah.
And a nice mushroom sauce steak. Doug K says nearly half the people in the U.S. are below average intelligence.
Right.
I knew most of these would be good jokes, stats. Weber Baker says Arlington, Texas, between Dallas, number 9, and Fort Worth, number 13, is the 48th largest city in the U.S. This means the DFW Metroplex is really large. FYI, Arlington is the home of the Cowboys and Rangers. Wayne Pettinger says 100% of the people who have died consumed dihydrogen monoxide at some point in their lives. You realize what dihydrogen monoxide is, right?
Mm-hmm. Water.
High quality H2O.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Slobodnik said, technically, it's possible not to be 100%. A baby that lived long enough to breathe before dying may not have consumed dihydrogen monoxide, but I'm being morbidly accurate.
Wow.
Holy pedantic statistics, Michael. John Miller Jr. says, there are people alive in 2019 that believe the earth is flat. My dad sent me an interesting one. He said, 2019 is the first time in 1,000 years, and the next time will be 1,000 years later, where you can take the person's birth date and their age, and it will add up to 2019. My older sister fell for it.
Their birth date?
Yeah, so if you add up and you say, hey, I was born in 1965, and I'm 54, that adds up to 2019. And Craig, you were born in 69.
Wow.
And you're 50. Quick. That adds up to 2019. You know what? That happens every year, people. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's just called addition and subtraction. Michael also says 80% of the IT problems are caused by changes. I'd say probably higher than that.
80% of the IT problems are resolved by rebooting.
Patty says, Chuck Tomasi played Funkytown 3 billion times.
Why do I feel like that's accurate?
I don't recall ever playing Funkytown, but okay.
Never when you play it, when you DJ'd in the...
That wasn't one of my regular go-to songs.
Oh. Okay.
And it was really popular around 80, 81, and I didn't start at the rink till like 83. So
wait a minute. There was a newer version of that, the Funkytown. Remember they...
No.
Who put that? Oh crap, my mind's blank.
He's gonna have to go look.
Lips, no, it's
Lips Inc. was the original one.
Lips Inc. No, yeah, but I'm thinking of the.
Matt Guy says 5 out of 4 people are not do not understand statistics. 5 out of 4 people do not understand statistics. April says the state of Nevada is ranked 50th in the U.S. for education. Sad but true. And also says the high school graduation rate from the class of 2017 is 80.85 in Nevada. And Clark County, Nevada is the fifth largest.
How did they get to 85%?
Huh? 80.85.
Okay.
Clark County is the 5th largest school district in the county. She gets involved with her kids' education. That's the question this week.
Here's one more that blows your mind.
Yes.
One out of these 2 co-hosts of this podcast can pronounce names.
And the other one can fake them.
That's right.
Wait, no, the one that can pronounce is faking it.
Right.
That's a better one. All right, let's finish up with the feedback. Thank you very much, everybody, for giving us your comments. If you want to get in touch with us, you can go to our Technorama page or just follow either one of us. We'll be posting these things throughout the week. They're a lot of fun. We'll have another one for you at the end of the show. Let's do the history thing. We don't even need to roll. There's nobody in the studio with us.
Speaking of names,
on this day in history for August 28, 2019, this is the 240th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 125 days remaining in 2019. This is the only day that you can take the day of the year and add it to how many are remaining. You get 365.
No. Keep going.
It was on this date in 1609 that Henry Hudson discovered Delaware Bay. Not Hudson Bay, Delaware Bay. Get that.
And that same date in 1789, William Herschel discovers a new moon of Saturn, later named
Enceladus.
Yeah, Enceladus. What was I going to say? Never mind.
It's like that stuff you put on your plate for the rabbit food. Have some Enceladus.
Yeah, it goes along with your romaine.
Your romaine Enceladus.
Yeah.
It was also on this date in 1830 that the Baltimore and Ohio railroads, that would be the B&O, yep, the one for Monopoly, their new Tom Thumb steam locomotive races a horse-drawn car, presaging steam's role in U.S. railroads. 1830, people.
1830, that's amazing. Also, today in 1845, the first issue of the Scientific American magazine is published.
And it had something about a train and a horse. I don't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
The Carrington event was the strongest geomagnetic storm on record to strike the Earth's electrical telegraph service was widely disrupted on this date in 1859.
It was also on this date in 1867 that the United States takes possession of the, at this point, unoccupied Midway Atoll, giving way to Godzilla.
Yes, where they nuclear irradiated the island.
That was an interesting. I went and read about that little island a while back on Wikipedia. There's a lot of history there.
Also on this date, 1898, Caleb Bradham's beverage called Brad's Drink. Keep this in mind, Jeopardy people. Brad's Drink was later renamed Pepsi Cola.
I did not know that.
Don't take Brad's Drink.
You can have this one. But no. Anyway, that same date in 1937, Toyota Motors becomes an independent company.
Also on August 28, 1993, Galileo spacecraft discovers a moon, later renamed Dactyl, around 243 Ida. It's the first known asteroid moon.
Cool.
Happy birthday goes on the state to French mathematician. Give me the French guy first, right?
Yeah.
French mathematician and philosopher Antoine Augustin Carnot, born on this date in 1801.
And Italian-American engineer Secondo Campini was born 115 years ago today.
Dutch-American mathematician and economist, Nobel Prize laureate Jalling, I'm guessing if he's Dutch-American, Jalling Koopmans is born on this day in 1910.
And born August 28th, 1913, American businessman founded the Dreyfus Corporation. His name was Jack Dreyfus.
Jack Kirby, American author and illustrator, was born on the same date in 1917.
And Canadian physicist and engineer John Herbert Chapman was born 98 years ago today.
Also turning 80 years today is English mathematician and academic John Kingman.
An American actor-singer David Soul is 76 today.
Was he Starsky or Hutch?
Yes.
The blonde one.
Yeah, he was both of them.
Also born on the same date in 1965, Canadian singer-songwriter Shania Twain.
And American actor and comedian Jack Black was born on this date in 1969. I'm older than he is.
By a slight, yes. And I'm older than Shania. How do you think I feel? Also born on that same date in 1969, Canadian actor and producer Jason Priestley, another actor that you're older than.
That's right. And also, last but not least, turning 45 today is Swedish game designer and programmer Johan Andersson.
Nice job with the Swedish. Johan.
Oui.
Listener birthdays include August 30th, Maximilian Bjorsten from Stockholm, Sweden. Now I get the Swedish. And Tim Downing on the 31st. September, we have 2 birthdays. David Plemken and September 2nd, Scott Tyler. Ding, ding, ding,
That's
ding, ding.
right. We'll have to celebrate while we're at Dragon Con again.
No, we'll be gone by then.
Will we?
I think so. Isn't the second Tuesday?
Monday.
All right, and we have to celebrate.
Hey, we got all Sunday to celebrate.
And this is it the 2nd or the 6th is Susie's birthday. It's in there somewhere.
It's on
We'll
my
just
calendar.
celebrate
It's on
them
my
all.
calendar. I don't know.
People come from all over to celebrate their birthdays.
Hey,
in
I don't
Atlanta.
know. Facebook just tells me, and I'll say, okay, happy birthday.
That's the way it was on this date in history for August 28th, 2019. And if you want to be on our birthday calendar, go over to chuckchat.com/wiki. See right there on the bottom of the screen. Donna's got it up there already for us. Way, way ahead. If you're listening at home, chuckchat.com/wiki. And you get your name out there. We'll give you a happy birthday wish at the appropriate time of year. You can put your friends, your relatives, your old vehicles, whatever.
Yeah.
We've got people putting all kinds of stuff out there. If it's
Go
your
back and put
birthday,
Dad's old gremlin on there.
if it's your birthday and you're not on the calendar, we wish you all the best. I think this is the end of the song. Maybe? No, we got 30 seconds left.
They got a second win.
They just don't quit, do they? Yes! When you hear those high trumpets, it's time to go home.
Yeah. Oh, Scott Tyler says he expects beers and food for his birthday.
Can I karaoke this song?
I'm sorry, they don't have that in Atlanta.
Ramp!
Good news, nobodies.
Oh, we probably should have played Clinton's message after this one, Craig.
I know.
So much for our programming. Our programming director is getting fired tomorrow.
Yeah.
From Business Insider, an astronaut may have committed the first space crime while aboard the International Space Station. NASA is reportedly probing the case of an astronaut who was accused of accessing her estranged wife's bank account while on a 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station. Veteran astronaut U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Ann McClain was accused of improperly gaining access to Summer Warden's bank account on NASA computers while she was in space, according to the New York Times. Warden, a former Air Force intelligence officer, became suspicious when McClain had mentioned specific purchases while fighting with her estranged spouse, the Times reported. Upon her request, her bank reportedly confirmed that her account had been accessed with credentials entered on a computer network registered to, you guessed it, NASA.
An alien.
Warden then brought the complaint against McClain with the Federal Trade Commission, claiming that McClain had committed identity theft, even though none of Warden's funds had been tampered with. According to the Times, McClain defended her access to the accounts as part of her due diligence in monitoring their entangled finances. Warden's parents said that in a separate complaint that McClain accessed the bank account as part of a, quote, highly calculated and manipulated campaign to obtain custody of Warden's son, who was born about a year before the couple got married. However, the Times reported that McClain claimed she was never prevented from accessing the account, and she was using the same password she used during their relationship, and she was never told to stop accessing the account. And as Clinton has told us, this claim carries no weight. So,
And by the way, she was also accused of password sharing Netflix account while on the International Space Station.
so if we make a new TV show, is it called CSIISS?
Yes, ISS. There's way too many acronym or
Initials?
letters for a TV show. Yeah, initials for a TV show.
No, it's not. No.
She also called Uber Eats, but they said they didn't deliver up there.
CSI NASA ISS. Because we might have CSI NASA somewhere else.
That's right. CSI NASA.
JPL. Who knows? Okay, that leaves you with the quantum teleportation.
Thanks. So an Australian and Chinese scientists have succeeded in teleporting three-dimensional quantum states for the first time. High-dimensional teleportation could play an important role in future quantum computers. Researchers from Australian Academy of Sciences and the University of Vienna have experimentally demonstrated that it was previously only theoretically possible. Together with quantum physics and the University Science of Technology in China, well, that's a lot of schools, and they got entangled here. They have succeeded in teleporting complex high-dimensional quantum states. The research teams reported this international first in the Journal of Physical Review Letters. It says in their study, the researchers teleported the quantum state of one photon, that's a light particle, to another distant one. Previously, only two states, qubits, had been transmitted information with values 0 or 1. How does that work, Chuck? However,
101?
Yeah. However, the scientists succeeded in teleporting all three levels, so-called a qubit in quantum physics. Unlike the classical computer science of zeros and ones, or not an either or, both simultaneously or anything in between, it is also possible. The Australian and Chinese team has now demonstrated this in practice with a third possibility of, I thought I saw it too. So anyway, you can read all about it, but I think that's pretty cool that they were able to teleport. Actually, when I first saw the title, I thought, well, they're going to pretty soon we're going to be teleporting people.
No. As much as I really want that
would be
save
cool.
on air travel.
Yeah. Oh, I got to go to the office.
Right. No more commuting for people. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wake up late, and people would still be late to work.
Of course they would. And meetings and everything else.
Yeah.
Jet lag would be kind of weird. You'd have to, leave at 2 a.m., get to the UK by the office in the morning.
But what kind of distances are we talking about? Like, could we have a computer in your house and in my house and teleport the states fast enough to actually get some benefit out of this?
I have no idea. When it gets to quantum stuff, my brain hurts.
Yeah. All right. Let's move along because my brain's already hurting.
All right.
Just
Speaking of,
article.
we go from the great ideas to the dumb ideas, in my opinion.
Hey, if you know how this works, call our listener line at what's the number?
707-530-2428. Look at that. Donna's got it for us right there.
Oh, man, right. She's awesome. No wonder you keep her around.
From ZDNet.com, Ukrainian authorities are investigating a potential security breach at a local nuclear power plant after employees connected parts of its internal network to the internet so they could mine cryptocurrency. Of course they could. Hey, look, these CPUs aren't doing anything at night. Why not? The investigation is being led by the... Did anybody ever think of Stuxnet? You have heard that, right?
Stuxnet.
Go look it up, kids. It's one of the greatest hacker Trojan horse stories of our era. And it involves nuclear power plants in Iran.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
With the
I've never heard anybody pronounce it.
Yes. Okay. The investigation is being led by Ukrainian Secret Service SBU. Is that a Starbase Universe? Not SGU. Yeah. They're looking at the incident as a potential breach of state secrets due to the classification of nuclear power plants as critical infrastructure. Investigators are examining if attackers might have used mining rigs as a pivot point to enter nuclear power plant's network and retrieve information from its system, such as data about the plant's physical defenses and protections. So, according to the authorities, the incident took place in July at the South Ukraine nuclear power plant located near the city of, oh my goodness, Yuzhnokrainsk.
That means you don't come here.
That's what you used to put up the building. Yuzhnokrainsk. in southern Ukraine.
Krinks. Yeah, I guess.
Swing out, my little partner. I'm catching. I'm swinging. Okay. That's all I can think of with that K on the end of there.
Yeah.
It's unknown how the scheme was discovered, but on July 10th, the SBU raided the nuclear power plant from where it seized computers and equipment specifically built for mining cryptocurrency. The equipment was found in the power plant's administrative offices and not on its industrial network. Confiscated equipment included 2 metal cases containing basic computer parts, but the additional power supplies, coolers, and video cards. According to court documents 1 and 2, one case held 6 Radeon RX 470 GPU video cards, and the second 5. Why did you just say they found 7 of them? I don't know. Or 13. What? 5, 6, and 5. What's 6 and 5? 11. That'll work. Further, the SBU also found and seized additional equipment that looked like mining rigs in the building, used as barracks by a military unit of the National Guard of Ukraine, tasked with guarding the power plant. Several employees have been charged for their involvement in the scheme, but not yet arrested. It's nuclear if any military staff was charged. Oh, it's unclear.
Remember when
unclear.
you
know how much nuclear and unclear look like when you transpose the first 2 letters? It's amazing.
That's right. Yeah, it's unclear and clear.
Nuclear.
Do you remember a few years ago we talked about a story where university was suing a guy that worked in the computer department? He had screensavers that were, I don't know if it was Bitcoin. I doubt it was Bitcoin at the time, but it was doing SETI.
The SETI at home stuff?
Mining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was doing the SETI stuff with the screensavers. And it was the unnecessary data that they were, charging him with, which was I forget how much it was. It was like $1 million. It was something ridiculous. Anyway, this just kind of reminded me of that. Without the uncertainty of the nuclear power plant being attached to it.
This takes it to a whole nother level, Craig.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying this reminds me of that story.
All right. Speaking of
hey, you can't fault me for having it remind me of something.
Speaking of familiarity, you get the next one.
I do?
Yes.
Okay, I guess so.
I can't read all the stories tonight.
That's right. Incredible images show something uncannily familiar about the rocks on the asteroid Ryugu. Ryugu. And we're not talking about the pasta sauce. Anyway, rocks on the surface of Ryugu, the distant asteroid currently being explored by the Japanese space probe Habyusha 2, bearing a striking resemblance to rocks from meteorites that have crashed on Earth. That's according to a team of European and Japanese scientists who analyzed newly released photos from the Hayabusa 2's robotic lander Mascot took from the asteroid surface back in October of 2018. Because the asteroid is thought to contain material from the earliest days of our solar system, the surprisingly dust-free asteroids, similarity to rocks found on Earth, have huge implications for understanding our planet's past. Some of the rocks resemble carbonaceous chondrite.
Tap your teammate if you need help.
Yeah, I need to phone a friend. Meteorites that have been crash landed on Earth, according to the team's research, which was published in this journal Science on Friday. I don't know what Friday that would be, but on Friday.
Carbonaceous chondrites.
Yeah, carbonaceous chondrites. Did you look it up?
No, it's a word right in front. It's on the screen.
Yeah, are some of the oldest known rocks in the solar system, but the samples here on Earth were altered as they passed through the atmosphere, which makes sense to me. When Hayabusa 2 eventually brings samples back down to Earth, scientists will finally have an opportunity to study the space rocks from their original form. So actually, the Hayabusa is supposed to land, I think, in the next in October, pretty soon, and they've got a landing spot, and they're going to grab them and some samples and bring it back.
This will be interesting because we don't get to study space rocks in space all that often. I mean, we obviously went to the moon and said, hey, look, this stuff's made of the same stuff the Earth crust is made up. That's where the theory of the whole moon coming from the Earth in its early history came from. This is, hey, look, all this stuff that comes through the atmosphere and lands on the ground, well, it's been altered because it's going through a burning in the atmosphere. Let's get to see what it looks like before it gets burned up, and then we'll torch it.
Yeah, so they're actually going to bring it back. I don't know how long. I forget. I read another article about how long it's going to take, but
in the year 3238.
The what?
It'll be here in the year 3238.
Yeah.
Well, look how long it took the pictures to get here. It was from last October. It's 10 months later.
Yeah.
Then again, sending pictures from that far away, there's not a photo mat nearby.
It's like you're waiting for the GIF to load. Line by line.
Sent it out on 3 bits per second.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's really cool that they're doing this. And they picked out a landing spot. I saw the article about that today, and they talked about when it's coming back, but I forget how long. So anyway.
Let's give a shout out to our people that are joining us on Facebook tonight. This is where we scan through the random Facebook list. Or we could say we pick people at random. We have Michelle Cook Lopez, John Miller Jr., Michael King, Craig Stepp, Joel Harper, Scott Tyler, the upcoming birthday boy, Scott Vaughn, Weber Baker, and Clinton Elvard, I see.
I say Michael King. Did you call Michael King?
I called out Michael King. Yep.
Yep. That sounds about it. I think we got everybody.
And if you click the little who's watching now, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Hopefully. Oh.
I always wish that somebody's watching me. Oh man, there's a Technorama parody in there somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, that's our shout out. We do this on Sunday nights at 9:30 Eastern. We would love to see you there. Follow the Technorama podcast page on Facebook, and you will get notified when we go live, because Craig and I will both stream it. Or if you're following one of us already, you'll get notified, and we'd love to hang out with you and talk nerdy stuff for a while. Now it's time for the reading of the patrons. Thank you very much to everyone who contributes to the show. You help offset the cost of hosting, bandwidth, software upgrades, which
beer.
We just had another one. No, it's not going to our beer fund, sadly. Maybe someday we can do that, but not today. Right now it's going for
How do you think we afford to go to Dragon Con?
Because we're not paying for a podcast. Sort of. No. Yeah, we're not flying first class on your dime. Thank you to Kyle Nishioka, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Mike Wills, Megapodtastic. Thank you, Night Gig Studios. Super thanks to Gary Lindros, John Clifford, Leon, John Noble.
What?
Our John Noble. Chris MC, Alexis Duran, Saturday Morning Media, a.k.a. Grant Pachoco, Steve Therian, Yorgos Rowan, John Miller Jr., thank you very much, Amber Elstad, Harold McKinstry, Amy Bowen, Denise Inglis, Stephen Weshy.
Weshy!
You make it sound like a rock concert in that one.
Yeah!
Dean Jensen, Dan D-Man, NCAF1, and Matt Baum. Thank you, everybody, for helping support this show. They just went over to patreon.com/Technorama podcast, and for as little as $1 a show, became supporters of this show. We give them thanks, we give them free content, and we're going to try and do the postcard thing again this year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if you're on this list before March 2019, which gives you some lead time, I don't care if you're slow in listening to podcasts, you should catch this sometime in the next...
If you're on the list by tomorrow...
5-6 months.
Yeah, no, tell them tomorrow.
If you're on the list by tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not creating that sense of urgency, am I, in a sales pitch?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, need to step it up, Chuck.
We're going to do the Star Trek Cruise postcard thing again, so hope to see you there. Make Craig draw that same graphic on 50 postcards this year. Let's see if we can get that.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to take the postcards,
rubber stamp it,
dip them in the water wherever we stop.
So you get a soggy postcard?
No, just the corner of it, not the whole thing.
Okay.
Never mind. Maybe in all the drinks that we have, we'll dip it in.
It's green. Thank you very much, everybody, for your help. Let's give this a happy ending there and get on with the Geek Library. We're at the Geek Library already?
Yeah.
How did we end up here?
Slowly, surely.
Uber, I think it was. Whose turn is it to read? You did the Ragu asteroid. So
yeah, Ragu.
This one's mine. What would happen if the whole internet...
Italian asteroid launder.
I'm not going to go through this whole one, but Gizmodo asks, what would happen if the whole internet shut down all of a sudden? And a number of their people responded. I don't think these are all their people. Why is my browser half off the screen? I can't see the rest of it. There. I'm not sure what happened there. Francesca Musiani says, in the event of a global internet shutdown, autonomous vehicles freeze in place almost instantly. On highways, automatic tolls no longer allow the vehicle to go through them. Well, yes, they would. They just wouldn't register anything.
Yeah, you still go through them.
Yeah, you still go through them. Oh, Donna's talking about the ones with the gates. So where you throw the coin in or you have to stop and pay. Yeah, the automated ones keep going. But if they have a gate, then you should have seen the hand signal she was giving me. Okay, that would create massive traffic jams.
This is the PG. This is the PG show. We don't need to see hand signal she was giving you.
On the streets, myriad passerby look at their empty shell communicative devices while bearing witness to several crashes of postal or other delivery drones. Fully automated. This person is kind of a little bit in the future. Larry Page once said Google would be the building airports and cities. It is there's lots and lots of responses from various people. One of them talks about the work, the communications, the banking and finance, transportation infrastructure, other infrastructure like the electrical grids. Is all of that stuff on the public internet, though? I have to imagine that a number of these things, these places have private networks.
So, well, there are private networks technically attached to the internet. So
it would take a lot to take the internet down because that's the whole point of why it was built as this interconnected web of other networks. Is so if it could sustain a number of outages and still be routable. So
yeah, but
they're just playing whatever.
Here in town, they cut one little cable on the main drag here, and half the town didn't have internet.
Not very well routed.
No, it was not. Actually, those wires were probably, who knows how old they were, but yeah, there was like somebody was using a ditch digger or something.
But if I went and cut the coax out by my house, it doesn't take down the whole block.
No, but there were lots of
city.
It was literally half the town was having trouble placing orders or receiving them.
There's more
even
than
phone calls.
More than one pipe coming into Phoenix, I'll tell you that much. I don't believe every utility and every service is on the public internet. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't know.
A lot of it maybe, but not all of it.
Probably more than you think. I think it's probably...
I'll bet there's more old stuff than you think. I'll bet there's some old ISDN lines out there that are still transferring information. I'll bet there's dial-up information going back and forth on the public phone lines.
Oh, sure. Oh, for sure. I mean, there's places where, there's people that just don't want to give it, they maybe get on every once in a while and just stick with their dial-up. I guess.
But pocket devices like these that we have, they're pretty much useless if the internet goes down.
No, I got a compass on there.
A compass. It gets its directions from the towers.
I can still scan for Wi-Fi, but I don't know if I can use it.
Still searching. Still searching.
Yeah.
It'll still record my step count, right?
Yeah. Well, you think about the internet. Just say if the internet went away, right? Just immediately, as much as we rely on it right now, it just went away.
Yeah.
Think of all the phone calls we wouldn't be able to make.
We would have to gather around the campfire and have podcasts.
Yeah, that was the other thing. We'd need Patreon to really step it up because I'd have to fly out there. You're going to have to fly out here so we can podcast.
We get our Sunday nights back is basically what it would be.
Yeah. All of a sudden, your family says, "Hey, we didn't know you were still here."
So, we're going to turn that studio back into 2 bedrooms sometime soon?
Yeah.
You realize our daily livelihoods would be gone, too. We work for a cloud company. That'd be a problem.
Well, it is funny how much the internet is now a utility. It's not. It is not. I see it as more of a utility than a luxury.
Has been. Oh yeah. Well, yes. It's the same. It's the same as many utilities like electricity or water. You get to third
Cable
world
TV.
countries and it's difficult to find.
Yeah, it's like cable TV. You know, at one point it was a luxury. Now it's
Cable.
pretty much the de facto way you get TV, except for some over-the-air stuff.
Cable TV. What is cable TV?
I don't know. I haven't had cable TV in 6 years now.
Yeah, but you said it's the de facto way to get it.
Oh, was. I mean, I'm talking. There was a point. I'm not saying today. I'm just saying there was a. It came up, and then it ended up being the standard for a long time. It still kind of is. But,
You're not going to let me tip that chair over, are you?
No. I'm going to tip this one over. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm just saying there was a point when it was kind of a luxury, and it turned into the standard. The internet. I mean, it just turned into a standard. I mean,
right.
I remember telling Kim, we need cable internet. We need, because it's fast. Why would we ever want that?
You know, that was almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
I remember when Time Warner when we got our cable internet and a digital camera, and wow, the world changed. Now, I'd been doing dial-up for about 15 years before that, so yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, well, in 98, I had an ISP, and we had a whole rack of modems in there at the time. That was the standard.
Yep.
And anything faster, was either super expensive or just didn't exist really at that time. And then it kind of,
Even dial-up wasn't that cheap. I remember a cheap commercial dial-up was $50 a month.
Oh, we charged 20.
Ooh, if you got 9600 or 14.4, that was blazing fast.
Yeah, we charged $20. We charged $20 for dial-up, and that, which when we opened the doors, the local phone company went nuts because they were still charging by the hour.
Just think, downloading a 15, 20 meg document file, a PowerPoint, or a podcast. That's nothing today. That would have taken a long time.
There you go.
John Miller Jr. on dial-up.
Oh, yeah. John Miller Jr. was talking about the story I was referring to. He says, if you're talking about the city of Rock Hill a few months ago, it was a city worker who dug up the fiber lines and knocked out services to over 19,000 customers. The city had to apologize to the ISP because the customers thought they were because they thought the phone company caused the damage. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah. See, John Miller Jr. He used to work at the ISP.
There was no compensation.
Sorry. It was a loose apology because
didn't they call Ditch Witch or Miss Dig or whoever it is to find out where the things are buried?
The city and the phone company, they're close. So it was probably a loose apology. Just say, hey, it wasn't their fault.
You're still supposed to, paint the colored lines on the road before you dig so you know what's down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're supposed to have it mapped out. There's always signs everywhere that says call before you dig.
Buried fiber, buried cables, Mr. Ouch, the little shock guy on the green box. Don't play around here. You'll get zapped.
But actually, when that outage happened, Kim and I were walking the dog that night, and I saw some kids outside playing. I was like, look, their internet's down. Their internet's down.
You could spot the reality.
Yeah. By the way, John Miller Jr., he worked at my ISP for a while, and we had $19.95 for unlimited 56K.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Yeah. It was also unlimited how many times we had to service everybody's computers.
Speaking of the old days, care to take our last story in the Geek Library?
Yes. So why is my page not loading up?
I don't know. Maybe the internet's down.
4 years later, Star Wars fan isn't done with his Death Star 2 diorama. This is the Death Star, of course, so it's still under construction. Excuse me. On July 15th, 2015, Star Wars fan and Twitter user C3POC3 Sounds like he was trying to
You sure it's
rotate through a
not?
bunch of them to get to it.
You sure it's not C3 POC 3? It's like Tupac.
Yeah, right. No, he probably tried C3PO and he had to keep incrementing to get something to work. So C3PO, C3.
I'd use some C4.
Hey, you ever had somebody that vaguely familiar with Star Wars and they say CP30? You ever had people say,
RD2D.
remember that C3PO guy? Yeah. The R2 Dodo. Anyway, so he started working on his Death Star diorama in 2015. Now it's 2019 and he's not done. Wait a minute. Does that mean that he's just lazy or he's just being meticulous? Anyway, so he can, as you can see, is currently painting the Death Star 2's northern hemisphere. The level of detail is staggering and it is pretty impressive. The model measures 50 centimeters in diameter.
That ain't that big, kids.
No, it's not.
And he's got a lot of detail crammed in there.
Yep. So here's some earlier progress pictures. You can go see the pictures he has. And he says, that's no moon, it's a diorama.
I think I would have gone with the 3D printer at this point.
Probably. But go look at it, though. It is... That's probably more detail than anybody's ever put in a Death Star. Even the people that made it for the movie. I mean, it's...
I wonder if there's any Easter eggs in there. Here's the stormtrooper on the toilet kind of thing.
Darth Vader and Luke are fighting in one little area.
Darth in the shower.
It is pretty deep. It's amazing. So hopefully in another 4 years he'll have it done.
Oh man. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to have a hobby. Ours happens to be this show. That brings us to the end. Our question of the week this time, which we will post sometime between now and 2 weeks from now. Maybe ask you at DragonCon. Finish this sentence. I'd be rich if I had $1 every time. What?
Blank.
Blank. Fill in the blank. I'd be rich if I had $1 every time blank. So that brings us to the end of the show. We want to thank you for hanging out with us once again. Appreciate it. Thank you, Craig, for all the help putting stories together and curating the info. Thank you to my wife, Donna, for doing the video. That little title that just came up is her handiwork. Thank you. And thank you again, everyone, for hanging out with us. The patron members will record your show right after this. And we look forward to seeing as many as possible of you at DragonCon. We will be doing the topic is Trek, 7 p.m., Galleria 2, right? 2 and 3?
I think
it's
right.
2 and 3. Basement of the Hilton, because they put the podcasters in the basement again, or the Trek nerds, or the podcast nerds and the Trek nerds. So
actually, we're in.
We ain't in the crystal ballroom.
No, we're not. Hold on a second. I'm pulling up the graphic that our buddy Clinton.
Yes.
Anyway, so the topic is Trek. It's Saturday at 7 p.m.
Yep.
And that is the Galleria 2 and 3.
Yep.
Technorama Comedy Forecast Live and Friends. Friends
Galleria
Live.
6, 2:30 p.m. Sunday.
That's right.
Galleria 6. And then I'm on a panel right after that. What's nice is if you want to search us out fast, just search for my name because I am an attending professional and just put a star next to that stuff. We kind of did that on purpose.
They don't know you very well, do they?
It means I don't get to pick up my badge in the standard line. I have to go to a special room and donate a kidney or something.
Special line.
It's like that episode of the IT Crowd where they're all wearing bathrobes.
Yeah.
And you don't get to go.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not for you, Jen. That takes us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining us. You can reach us on the listener line at 707-530-2428 like Clinton did. Even if you have a bad joke like Clinton did, join us. We'd love to hear it. Maybe we should turn that into a bad nerd joke line. That's it. It's not a listener line. It's a bad nerd joke line. Tell us your nerd jokes. 707-530-2428. And we will get you on the show. I'll bet you anything. It's better than listening to those people trying to sell us Chinese properties.
I kind of enjoy that.
Follow us on Facebook, Technorama Podcast, and go to our website. You can find all the links for this and more over at chuckchat.com/Technorama. Until next time, tell a friend about Technorama and give us a big binary high five, Craig.
101. See you at DragonCon.
Woohoo! So Clinton was playing his Star Trek Online game. Did you hear? Are you up to date on any of those?
No, I got to catch up on
He
his.
ran into a Borg and he said one of the Borg had the number 101, and he kind of said, "Well, yeah, you'll get it if you get it." It just it was this really quick, subtle reference. If you knew it, you knew it. If you didn't, you didn't. I'm laying there in bed last night, falling asleep, going, "Oh man,
That's funny." That's funny.
All right. Thank you, Facebook people, for hanging out with us. We are going to have a wonderful time. We will do our best to record both. The topic is Trek and, yes?
John Miller Jr. says he used to work for the ISP in question, which one I was talking about. He had to leave for health reasons. Something funny. I did too.
Called your sanity?
My sanity, yeah.
All right. So thank you again, Donna, for helping us with the video. And we are out of here. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hmm.